Yes! That's a great picture.
Peggy 18.
Peggy 18.
Brothers in Christ, we have gathered here today to welcome a new novice into our midst. Dear brother, forget your former life and embrace your new vocation in the community of the monks of St. Benedict. The service of God, obedience, and endurance of all discomfort. These are the cornerstones and succor of our order, which on this day shall become your own. Accept your new name and wear it with honor. Welcome, brother.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome.
Hey.
Kingdom come.
Kingdom come. Kingdom come. Welcome to the original Next Level Gaming Show. It is great to have you guys all out on Sunday night and the return of the king and our great friend, Sir Rick of Talmberg.
What's up, guys?
What's going on,
What's up,
Rick?
I'm honored to be on here yet again. Thank you.
Oh,
Let's do this.
It's an honor to have man. You have been, my God, man. You've been all around the world literally since this game has come out.
It's been fun.
How many shows? How many gray hairs?
I mean, you can see you got him here, got him in that lovely picture that you had over there, and when you're traveling around you get some more. It's worth it. It's worth every penny, every gray hair.
Every single one of them.
Every one.
Well, welcome back. We like to think of it as kind of as you coming home. You've been on our show a few times, and we love you every time, man. And now, Mr. Famous.
Oh well, the game is famous. We can say that for now, right?
I can say that. However, don't think I didn't take this. There he is.
Oh, there it is.
Mr. Manic, his name is in the credits.
It says, please ask him all the questions about the bugs. Right.
Right. Tweet him.
Don't ruin the moment, whoever you are. Don't ruin the moment. What's that one movie which says, if I find you, I won't kill you? No, I'm just kidding.
Taken, I think?
Yes.
Well, we can talk about that because
I will find you.
We have something special on this show.
Yes. We're going to.
So stay tuned. Actually, we're going to make them wait till the very end just because they said it first. Then they'll be last.
I don't even know what it is, guys. So don't worry about it.
Oh, that's very true. So welcome to the rest of the panel. We got we're back again and looking good on Twitch as usual. So Peter, what's going on, my brother?
What's not going on? I mean, playing Kingdom Come Deliverance, it's awesome. And absolutely, it's a fantastic game, and I've also been listening to the soundtrack while I'm working.
Oh yeah.
And not playing, and keeps me going. But fantastic game. Congratulations to Warhorse and Rick.
Thank you very much.
Job well done.
Thank you.
And still working. That silky smooth sound you hear is a brand new nice microphone.
Well, I had the microphone, but I used to use my iPad, and I finally got it set up to use my Logitech webcam, and finally being able to use this Jedi mic.
Very nice.
Nice. Congrats.
Yes. Sir Juan, how are you, sir?
Hey,
Except
good.
that is not your Twitter handle.
I didn't see it.
That is not your Twitter handle.
Hi, Coop.
Oh, nope.
Right.
I'm just impersonating Coop. He sounds better than I do anyway, so he's got that awesome voice. So
Yeah,
what's
but
wrong with that?
he couldn't handle the retro rec last week.
Well, not everyone. It's a heavy load to carry. No, it's not. I love doing it. But yeah, no, it's been pretty good. Work's been really busy, but who did we lose?
Oh, he rolled out on us already.
Oh, well, it's probably my fault. But yeah, no, work's been good. My responsibilities have changed a little bit, but it's been financially rewarding. So I was able to do things like the Sea of Thieves controller. So I'm very excited about that. Yeah.
But talk about a controller. I was able to order it today from the Microsoft Studios. I have to do store pickup because it was sold out online. But they had it on sale actually, which was pretty cool.
Yep, pretty excited about that. And going 4K soon. Got it all set up, and very, very excited about going 4K and HDR with the X. So that's going to be sweet. Generally, it's all been good. I've been playing Kingdom Come Deliverance, of course. I'm only so far into it because I've been working on this retro project that's been becoming a brief obsession for me. But that and the Sea of Thieves stress test, I was in with that too. Those have been my 3 games recently.
Awesome.
Nice. And of course, he's sporting the Kingdom Come hat.
I tell you, the game is something else, and I'm so glad to see that it's being received very well. That it's kind of taken off right away. It's I don't want to take away from its originality by saying it's like something really, but I was explaining to another friend of mine that I would think of it as kind of like an Elder Scrolls that's like almost like a Morrowind or an Oblivion that's more tied to reality than more grounded. I really dig it. I love that Henry starts out, you're just a guy, and I guess we could go deep on it later, but yeah, I just love that you're just kind of an average guy who starts the thing. I love the world. I love the music. In fact, on the open here, I had actually tweeted Rick, and that was the song I was mentioning, and that thing where I asked you what it might be, and you had directed me to the composer that you mentioned just before the show there. Okay. That's the track I was talking about with that big sweeping sound in the beginning. Oh, it's so good. So good.
Okay, gotcha.
You can actually find that on SoundCloud, by the way, which is where I found it.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick that up. I want to put that in my I do that. Well, it was daily for my work responsibilities changed, but now I just kind of put them in when I can with the VGM music picks. I definitely want to get that in there. It belongs in the list. Yeah,
on the SoundCloud, it's called Scalit's 1403 Symphonic Trailer.
Yes.
All over that.
Yeah, man. Sir Nathan.
Hello, how are you guys?
Good, how are you?
I mean, life is good. It has its ups and downs, but that's what Sundays are for.
That's right. Especially when we have Sir Rick on.
True.
So we've been waiting for this. We've been waiting, and we had this discussion when he was headed to Czech Republic, which we're gonna ask you about your experience there in a couple minutes. But I remember saying, you're gonna be back in time, right? You're gonna be back in time, right? You're gonna be back in time. That's all I kept saying. You are not missing this one.
No.
What you been playing there, Nathan?
A little bit of everything. Doom multiplayer.
Oh yeah.
Back to Doom.
Nate got me to play that too. It's so good. I haven't played the Doom multiplayer since till like yesterday, and I was surprised.
Really?
I had played it in the beta, and it was pretty solid. I don't know if it was. I don't know if I felt like it was outstanding in any way, but yeah, it was perfectly credible. It was pretty good.
Yeah, my experience was extremely positive. It's like the netcode, it seemed like very tight.
Did you get to experience, I don't know if it made it out of beta, but there was a weapon that made charge as you moved. Did you get to play with that one? I thought that was kind of a cool idea.
I don't know. I started with all the basic weapons, and then have to level up.
Yeah. Hey, I think we're having a little technical difficulty with Rick there. There we go.
Guys, welcome
back?
Yep, we got you.
I don't know what's going on. It's really acting up. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Somehow you popped in twice. It was really weird.
You have that Kingdom Come internet. Come on.
Can you guys see me now? Or
Not yet. It's still loading.
Yeah.
That's all right. We can hear you. That's good.
Okay.
So we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Try turning off and turning back on your video. That might help.
Okay. Let's see this. Bam.
You can pretend you're still in Bohemia.
Still in Bohemia? Okay. I'm popping in twice again. That's weird. Never had an issue before with y'all. I don't know.
All right, hang up and we'll call you right back.
Word.
Yeah, this is weird.
Well, while you're working on that, I would just mention the little retro project that I just kind of cashed in today, if you will.
Yes.
It was such an obsession for me because I had found a copy of the Battletoads game on the NES, the old cartridge, put in the NES, and I was just going to get it for a retro recommendation club, a short one, but then I was like, wait, did I ever actually finish this game? So I don't think I had, so I decided to start it, and it just became kind of an obsession to get a clean finish on it, and I ended up putting together a run that played from start to finish. No continues used. It was very close, but no continues used, and no warps used. And it was totally rewarding. I'm so glad I went back for that game and played through it because it's a real ball buster. But yeah, it was. I felt great afterwards, and so I made sure to get a video up on that. And that's here on the Twitch page too, if anyone wants to check it out.
Yep, we rolled it at 3:00, and then we'll replay it throughout the week too, because in case people miss it, and of course we'll have the link for people who want to just check it out when they can.
Mm-hmm. So. It starts out pretty good. I had through the first half of it doing pretty well, and got a little hairy there towards the end there. Whether I was going to get it done on the one try like I was hoping for, but I felt good to do it because to not have lost a step at 40 and still be able to do it. That's I'm happy with that.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
And that makes 3 years in a row of a tough game taken on again. Like 2 years ago it was Dark Souls, last year it was Ninja Gaiden Black, this year it's Battletoads. Have to figure out something for next year, but no one can tell me I don't play the tough games.
No,
at least the ones that come to my platform.
Because Dark Souls is the Battletoads of
right. Yeah.
So no, it was a good that was a good video, and oh, he's out again. All right, we're gonna figure out how to get Rick fixed here. This is what happens when you get jet lagged. So
yeah.
In the meantime, Sir Frankie, how are you, sir?
What's going on?
So
I'm all right.
Yeah?
He's Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
Monster Hunter.
Yeah. How you doing, Frankie? Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter.
Although you are sporting a haircut not unlike 1493 Skeleton.
Yeah. I was ready for Kingdom Come. This was my, you know what I mean. So, but no, I hopped in. Brent streamed it on Monday night when it unlocked on Xbox. So he did a stream, so I joined him for that. And, we were talking about the game while he was playing it. So I think he put in about a little over an hour. So that's all I've seen of the game. I haven't opened my copy up yet because I can't put down Monster Hunter. I can't do it. I've been trying, but we just got him back. So my copy is still sitting here. I gotta once I finally stop playing Monster Hunter, that's what I'm gonna hop into next. So
your copy is still in mint condition.
Mint condition, right?
It is.
Unopened.
No, that's not true. I did open it.
Of the show here hasn't played the game.
I bought it. I showed up on day one.
No doubt. But you know what? I'll put in a couple words to my QA team and then see how your game's working after that. I'm just kidding.
Well, if nothing else, Frankie, when you get to it, lockpicking should be easier.
Oh yeah, I've heard.
Touche.
That was once. I love the game to death. I can't can't explain. I can't stress it enough. But I started to play, and I'm making the choices and doing the things. And I wanted to be like a silver-tongued, roguish kind of. And I go to take what's his name? I can't think of his name now. The drunken Crunch. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll get the boys to beat him up then.
Right.
You're talking about Kunish, right?
Oh yeah, Kunish, right?
You're trying to get okay. I can't wait to talk about some of that stuff because I can whatever. That'll be fun.
No, Kunish is spry for a drunk guy.
Yeah. I caught those fists. I caught those hands big time.
Yeah.
Well, because I couldn't figure out how to block. That was my problem at first. I'm like, how do I block this guy? He keeps punching me.
No, a little bit later in the game, there's another training, etc., and it becomes a little bit clearer, like the whole fighting mechanism and stuff, and sword fighting and archery and stuff.
When I made it back to Skalitz, and I haven't actually yet. When I made it back to Rove, like it's between
Rovia.
Thank you. When I went there and I ran into a bandit, I just murdered that guy. Like it was no problem. So I think. I'm starting to get it, but the openness of it and the depth of systems and it's so great. And as I was saying before, that Skalitz 1403, really love that track. I'm big into video game music, and that's like an early runner for like track of the year for me. Like that's going to be
awesome.
That's going to be hard to top.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what I like about the combat system is it's weighted by the weapons you have. Like obviously, there's a bandit that you have to come up against kind of early in the game who's standing there trying to loot somebody. And he gets up and he looks at you and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take you out." And that's all fine and dandy, except by that time I had a sword. So I'm like, "Oh, really?" And he's like, "Oh," and he was done. But then I came up in the story. I thought for a moment that the game was that I had glitched because I came up to the point where I found my no spoilers, but came up against a guy who I was like, okay, I'll take you on, and in 2 hits he's like, no, you won't. Boom. Thankfully, that was not what I thought it was going to be, and the story continued. But and like we're seeing here, the between the stamina and being able to aim your shots and not just swing but stab and then block, and so it can really be a fairly complex system if you let it.
So that's the thing is in the beginning of the game, Henry, even though he's son of a blacksmith, you clearly find out very quickly that when he comes into the service of what's his name, Lord Ratsik, he's never really even used a sword. So Ratsik, remember, he wants to find the sword to give it to him. He wants to honor his father. Henry wants to honor his father, right? But he's like, you need to learn how to use a sword if you're going to come into my service. You're going to have to learn how to be a soldier. So Henry doesn't know how to do anything. He doesn't know how to sneak around. He doesn't know how to lockpick. He doesn't know. Definitely doesn't know how to lockpick.
He knows how to. Yeah, none of us know how to lockpick.
After high school, he was basically me after high school. He's just kind of floating through life. I hadn't really mastered anything, and
dude could drink though,
right? Yeah, well, maybe a little bit of that. But the thing is you have to roll the dice. It's just such a different type of game because yes, I've played like for example Dark Souls. They throw you out there and say have fun, and I love it. I absolutely love it. But with this guy, at least Dark Souls, your guy knows how to fight. Henry doesn't know how to do anything. So you really have to learn how to use everything in the game. And we're so used to a faster-paced game. We're used to having environments where you can find action on every corner. And here you are as Henry, and you're hearing the music play. You're like, wow, I can actually enjoy this and look at the environment without getting attacked by some goblin or demon or dragon flying and taking me out of nowhere. Now, granted, the bandits, right? They can surprise you, and you're going to have some surprises. It doesn't mean we don't have things lurking around corners, but you can really enjoy the environment around you. You're really immersed into medieval Bohemia. There's no fantasy in this game, so you really have to be patient and try and learn these things as you go. And what's great is you can choose what you want to learn quicker than others, but at the same time, we've talked about this, and Dan has said it. The lock picking, it's really kind of difficult on the consoles. unless you're someone like me who knows how to do everything, not everyone can be like.
Somebody's had thousands of hours of practice.
Yeah, a little too much, but that's one thing that we talked about, and then I can actually definitely confirm is that in the next patch we are going to have it where the lock picking will be addressed. We'll make the improvements on the controller. So among some other things that will be in the next patch that we can talk about at certain points. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that being able to kind of cast your own lot as Henry, my Henry is different skilled than Juan's Henry, which is differently skilled than Peter's Henry, which is differently skilled than yours. I think that is something that that gives the game legs and life. That this doesn't feel like a game that you're gonna blow through in 10 hours. That you're just gonna, and I don't think you can. The way that I remember coming across sword fights with guards, and it says to you right in the game, you're not good enough yet. You're not gonna, and sure enough, man, it takes 25 minutes to take out a guard if you don't take you out, if he doesn't take you out first. I got into a situation. It was the weirdest thing where I was escaping the castle of Davish, right? Was that the one you were stuck on, Peter? Davish Castle?
Is that the first?
Probably.
Is that the first castle?
Well,
Yeah.
You're talking about where the guard says, "Hey, maybe if you dress more like the rest of the guys."
I didn't get that far. It took me.
I'm going to tell you what I did, but you guys go first, and I'll tell you what I did.
All right. Well, the first time I went through it, I decided to try to escape. So I jumped down the side, and it worked for a little while until the guards caught up to me at a bathhouse, like not far away. So then I got into a fist fight with them, forgetting I had a sword on me, and they knocked me out. And then they played this game of he's awake again, boom, and I was out. Oh, look, he's awake again, and he has no health, boom, and I was out again. Like they would wake me up it would be like torture. And I ended up just saying screw this and loading my old save point.
Nice.
I hear you.
So I was gonna try to lockpick or whatever. I didn't have money. I ended up talking to the guard that was mentioned, and he suggested that I look like in Talmberg colors. And then I found Lady Stephanie. Mm-hmm. Is that her name? Yeah, Lady Stephanie, who had chatted me up all night. That was kind of interesting. And she had the idea. She helped me find the clothing, and then yes, you look like it. And then I just kind of went and got Olena, which was the horse that I picked when I couldn't save the one chick who was running away. Got Olena from the stable, and rode to Rovina.
Yes.
I never had my own horse.
Whatever.
My own horse was missing.
Good.
So I stole a horse, and then ran off the the bridge part, the one that Mike jumped down. But I had a horse and just rode off and rode as fast as I could.
You were able to jump off the bridge with the horse?
Yes.
I tried that several times. I couldn't do it.
Make sure when you exit, you take the one the right side, not the left. Yeah, you have to go in full speed though. Hit that double B, and then you'll be able to make it.
You must have timed it right, and then you just hightailed it.
Guess.
Now, did you lose your horse at some point in that?
After that, I had to steal a horse, so that horse is never mine. So that horse, disappeared.
I got to Rovia, I got off the horse, and then the horse disappeared. I'm like, what? I had to walk my ass back to
and I had at times too, I was so overburdened with all the stuff that I was carrying around, and at one point, you have to dig in a grave. So I ended up in a grave because you're digging down there, and I couldn't get back out. I couldn't jump because it was too heavy. So I had to put some stuff in the grave. I was able to jump out, and then I could pick up some stuff, but it was all close to being spoiled food and all that stuff. So
I'll tell you when I knew the game was going to be big and do well was I didn't get a chance to step. It was 3 a.m. for it to go live, so I I tried. I didn't make it. Getting old, I guess. But so I had to go to work the next morning, and so I didn't get a chance to do that until I'm home at 9 p.m. now. So throughout the day, I'm hearing all the people talking about it and all the conversation about. Well, did you manage to beat up? His name escapes me again. The drunkard. Kunis. Thank you. Yes, Kunesh. Did you manage to beat him? No, I caught his fist. And did you do this and do that? And it was just there's all this conversation about the different paths that people took, and everyone was very interested to see if what choices everybody made. And I knew right then it was going to be pretty big.
The great part is here we are. We're talking about all these different ways. Like I did the same thing. I actually said screw you, pal, and I just jumped the bridge. Yeah. I got one of the guards chasing me, and then I used my speech skill to just say, hey, listen, I got to go bury my parents, man. Can you reason? Okay, fine. Just, what? Actually, like you hit me or something. Do you remember that? Like you bump into him and he's like, ah.
Oh, I didn't bump into him. I just ran. That explains why they came after me again.
Yes.
He's like, you're an idiot. If you
need to kind of do something. So he got beat up or something. So, we say there's 3 to 5 different ways, but sometimes there's almost like double that in a way. Like, because there's different things that will happen within those choices. So while there's one solution, we all it's going to be freaking crazy to we could go on and then talk about what we'll have to do is we'll have to do maybe, I don't know, another podcast where we all beat the game and then talk about some really important parts because by then maybe it won't be as bad for spoilers or something. And then we could talk forever in a day about just one little thing that had one outcome and we all took different paths. And that's what makes the game so unique. And that's why I love watching streamers play the game, especially they don't know what the game's about and oh my goodness, what am I going to do here? What am I going to do there? And then the people who are watching say, oh, pick this. And then you just don't know what's going to happen, even though there's one particular outcome that you want to try and get to. So it makes it so unique.
Well, I think what I like about it is that if I don't like what I've done, I can go back and do something else. This is one of the first games I can remember where I've gone back and loaded up an old save point because I wasn't happy with what I was doing. So, like with the castle, I was like, you know what? I don't want to run all the way back to Scalet. So let me just go ahead and go back to the part, the last place I saved, and let me do it again. And then I would go and talk to the guard, and then I'd dress up. I lockpicked part of the stuff to get the guard. It was the only time that I'm like, oh yeah, I can lockpick now, and then no, you can't. So then I got that far. So these are I've actually gone back to older parts of the game to kind of redirect myself to where I wanted to go because I didn't like what I did, or I didn't. Another great place that we could talk about how we took care of was. I don't know how many of you guys decided to take the Miller's quest to get the dead man's ring from the executioner. Well, there's literally 3 or 4 ways you could do it, and since I didn't do it right the first time, I went back to my save point and just did it again until I figured out the way I wanted to do it.
I tried 3 things as well. One of them was lockpicking, and then I ran through my lockpicks because it wasn't as sufficient as I thought. It takes a little bit of practice, and so that didn't pan out. And then I thought, I just used my bare fist. Well, he was a little bit too strong for me at this point in time, and so I lost that. And then, basically I waited so I could kind of knock him out.
Did anyone else take the bow from? The castle at Talmberg?
Yes.
And the arrows?
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot it. I was going to take it, but then I grabbed the armor and the shield, which was too heavy for me to use effectively. I was better with just the blade. But yeah, no, the game's great. All the stuff that is open for players to do is so great. But then on top of it, the part that's not necessarily open is still really well done. I think one of my favorite pieces of dialogue so far was the dialogue between the Lord of the castle at Talmberg and Sir Sigisfried's punter.
Sigismund.
Not Sigismund, but his Sir.
Yeah, the guy who killed
the bald guy killed Dad.
The guy who did the thing with the place.
So bad with names. But when they were talking,
probably talking about Run, right? Run.
Right, talking like that. You're at the castle at Talmberg, and the the bald gentleman killer father shows up with the army, and he's talking to him from the wall. The leader is talking.
Yeah. That's an awesome cutscene. Yeah.
That whole dialogue is just great. Because that just the way it was written, and there's a tension, and the guy the man at arms, his Sir, what's his name?
Sir Robart.
Thank you, Sir Robart. Is like, you have all my admiration because of how he handled that situation. It was so good.
Yeah, because Robart wanted to fight. He was like, he was getting everybody ready.
He was getting ready to, but it was really well written, a really well a tense scene. All the people of Talmberg were kind of wondering what's going to happen, and it was that conversation was really good.
What's interesting too is there's some fights where you want to pay attention to how many men you say you need to go into fight when you talk to Sir Robard, right? And if you choose too many men, you might come back to find that some places were burnt to the ground or whatever because you had suggested too many men to be taken to fight in the battle.
Right.
Undead is booting the game up right now. I knew he was going to start tonight. So sorry if we're spoiling anything there. So, and by the way,
trying to keep it light.
Yeah. And by the way, as we didn't get a chance to do, welcome to everyone in the chat room. You guys are the best. My Lord Cognito is here, hanging out with us. Brent's here. Frankie.
Good to see him. Yep.
So, and I'm still getting used to some of the Twitch names that are different than where they were on YouTube. So, Morrigan and Nixium.
Nixium.
Yeah. I don't know who that is.
I'm pretty sure that's my boy Nixium.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, dude. Awesome. I was talking to him the other day. He's a really cool guy, man.
Yeah.
He does some great YouTube videos, and he's done some great videos for Kingdom Come Deliverance. So that's cool to see him. And what's up, Nixium?
Oh, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us, indeed.
Yo, he says yo.
Dilly. How did that not make it? How did that not make it into the game?
I'm glad it didn't. Okay.
Don't worry. Another couple of months, that'll be a dead. That is this generation's WhatsApp. Is what that is.
No doubt about it.
Well, it all comes from Bud Light.
Hey, instead of the dilly, we did the lock picking just for you guys.
Lock picking, that's right. Lock picks. Lock picks for all.
We said, you know what? We want to have a great game, but what's one way you can frustrate people so much where it's gonna go big? Hashtag I hate lock picking, and now everyone knows Kingdom Come lock picking, and we're gonna sell more copies that way.
That'll be your mini game. You know how Witcher 3 has Gwent or whatever the hell that card game is? This will be the mini game for Kingdom Come Deliverance. It'll be Kingdom Come Deliverance Lockpick Master.
Yeah, that was a bad PR move I just made. So hopefully the guys from Warhorse don't see this. So
it's too late because they already retweeted this. So somebody's watching.
Cool.
So
on a serious note, though, like I said, the next patch it's going to be a lot better with the control. So that's good.
Well, all right. So tell us, because this is stuff that is not known yet. We are breaking news here. This is what happens when we get to come on Sunday nights.
Okay. Well, so you want me to talk about some other juicy stuff?
Yeah, we could come back.
Turn it down.
Yeah, exactly. We come back to talking about the game and our experiences.
Right. So the one of the thing is that we've definitely heard, like, we've been watching. Believe it or not, like I've been jumping in random streams. I love watching people play, and it's not just big streamers too. Like little, big, whatever, medium. I like to jump in, say hi, and then I jump out quick because otherwise it kind of make them feel like a little awkward. Like, what if I don't like his game and he's in the chat? So,
well, it's funny you mentioned that because Peter this week was like, those things that he was doing, and I was thinking to myself, do we want him on Sunday night?
Oh yeah, like if I can't get off that castle, then
I can't get out of that castle. To hell with the game. I'm like,
Sorry.
That's all right. I said, no, go ahead.
Well, no, I was just gonna say because we got the lockpicking thing out of the way, and people were wondering when we were gonna work on the save and exit functionality because that was one thing that I even saw in the reviews, and People said, because we really listen to those things a lot. We have a lot of passion for our games, so you'd be surprised, being at the studio and we're really listening to feedback. And the other thing is, like we said, we're going to do something with the save and exit, and that definitely we want that to be into the next patch. So to have the save and exit functionality, and the plan is to have it where when you save and exit the game and then you come back in, it actually deletes that save. So if you did die or something happened, you'd go back to the save point beforehand. So we try to find a happy medium, a happy balance. But the point is that the save and exit feature will be there. So rejoice, because we're listening. The other thing is we're going to make improvements to the pickpocketing. We're going to work on many quest-related bugs. So just know that. And then I'm going to actually be posting these things on Steam and Reddit after the podcast. But you heard it here first, so bam.
Save it, exit, baby.
Nothing like spectacular, but it just lets you guys know that we're definitely listening, and many quest bug fixes and things like that. Keep sending them to support@kingdomcomerpg.com, and we're working around the clock, and they do all the hard work, and then I just talk about it. So. No, just kidding. They're working day and night.
You have busted your rear end this last month, man. Just absolute. We've watched you. It's a bit like bar hopping. You've just been show hopping like the entire time, and then you get to jump on a plane and head over to the Czech Republic to go hang out and celebrate with these guys. Tell us about that experience. That's a once in a lifetime kind of thing.
So I love to tell you guys, because it's really interesting. There's really a story behind it, and I kind of a lot of times I joke around about playing off about because the QA guys, man, and the dev team. We're all game devs, but I mean the people, the game designers, and all the work that goes into it, the music. They work their tails off, and I always joke around saying that I get to talk about it and do the fun part, but really, while it is fun, we all are working tons and tons of hours. So when I was there, I'll just tell you what happened. Actually, are you guys in for a little bit of a story, because I almost didn't make it to Prague.
I remember.
Yeah, lay it on us.
Yeah.
Should I talk about that or go on to the next thing?
Well, no. We want to hear stories. And by the way, before that, Lord Cognito, a good friend of ours, says, is there any hope for Xbox One X HDR in the future?
So the tricky part with that was using the CryEngine. The CryEngine works great, but we did have a little bit of limitations with the HDR, so that probably won't happen. So, good?
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm trying to hold my face without being like, I know, I'm sorry. But no. Yep. So anyway, basically, I had an 8-hour layover knowing that I was going into an 8-hour layover. I was like, I was supposed to fly from Rochester to Philly, and that's where the big layover was. So it was like, okay, whatever. And then from Philly to Madrid, and Madrid to Prague. So Rochester's that's where I live, Rochester, New York. And they're de-icing the plane, and all of a sudden they blow out one of the engines. I mean, that's literally my father-in-law, because I told him this story when I got home. He told me that the engines cost millions of dollars, at least $1 million or something like that. So literally that never happens, and I was like, well, that sucks. Everyone has to get off the plane. Some people are going to miss their next flights. For me, I had a huge long layover, so it didn't matter. Well, finally, get back on another plane a few hours later, and I fly to Philly, and I'm like, if you know me, I don't like Philly because I can't stand the Philadelphia Eagles. They won the Super Bowl. He gets to the airport. Welcome to Philadelphia. They're your Super Bowl winners. And I'm like, oh no,
Wow.
oh Lord, Giants fan here, But so okay, I wait a few more hours, and I finally get on. I'm about to get on the plane to go to Madrid, and she's like, sir, your passport expires next month. You can't get on this plane. I'm like, excuse me. I need to get on the plane. Okay. No, you can't get on the plane. No, I got to get on the plane. I got to go. And she's like, you can't. And I'm like, what is going on? I normally don't get upset real easy, but I was really flustered in the heat of the moment. I'm like, okay, slow down. Rick, I'm talking to myself. Slow down. She brings me over to this other desk, and this manager comes over, and then there's this other lady that's working with me. So I have 3 women that are working with me, trying to figure things out. And this one woman who's like on the computer, she's like, "Yeah, you may have to go back home." And I'm thinking, okay, wait, hold on 1 second. I am not going home. I'm in Philly. I don't want to stay in Philly either. But no, so then this other manager comes over. Her name is Colleen, and a big shout out to her with American Airlines. And she said, "You know what? We're going to put you in a hotel. Yeah, and what you need to do is get a passport, because your passport, even though it expires next month, a lot of countries, it needs to be 3 to 6 months out from expiring." So I'm like, "You're telling me that my passport hasn't expired, but it's expired?" Because basically that was the deal. I'm like, "Man, this is crazy, but it is what it is." So she told me that you can actually get a passport in Philly the same day and fly out the next day. And I'm like, I'm still kind of bummed a little bit, but I'm like, there's hope, right? Because I miss a day. Well, as I'm like going to a hotel, which was nice where they put me in this hotel, they gave me a couple food vouchers. I told some of the people that I was taking a bus with to the hotel from the airport, like, there's no way, we live in Philly, there's no way you can do this. You normally have to set up an appointment. It's going to take a couple weeks. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine, but I'm getting one, So I like go and get my pictures taken. For the passport, I go and fill out the form the night before, because I'm like, I want to be ready, right? I call the passport place, and they're like, the 1-800 number, like, yeah, that's definitely possible. They didn't say 100%, but that's definitely possible. You can get your passport that day. I go to bed. I wake up. I go to the desk to check out at the hotel. And the guy goes, "Hey, the passport, the place just called. They said don't show up because the government shut down a few hours ago." And I'm like, seriously? What is going on here? And I just like, but I didn't like literally do that in front of him. That's what I was doing inside,
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah. Oh, hold on. I got a replacement hat. So anyway. So then...
just like the game, you select like a different hat, and
I mean, you fail the quest, but then there's other ways to solve it. Am I right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I gotta get the camera right. Okay. So anyway, my wife then calls, and she goes, "Honey, they just opened up again." I'm like, "This is a circus. The government just opened up now, because the government, it's a circus." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I gotta go anyways. I don't know what the answer is gonna be, but I gotta go." So I go to the place, the government, because it's a government building, obviously. And I get in there, and they were really nice, and they said, "Yes, you just have to wait to get your passport. You have to wait for like a few hours, and then stop by at 1:30, and you can pick up your passport." So I did, and what was even better is that when I went back to the airport, they actually extended my flight, so I was able to stay another day without losing any time, and they didn't charge us anything extra.
Nice.
So it all worked out, and here I am, and I get there, and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm all pumped." And then, we have a little celebration. And I say little celebration because we have so much work to do that there was a moment. But we had to. I understand, that it's like, well, man, would you really want to celebrate before? And it's like, yes, we've put our heart and soul into this. And when you work together, you become a family. There's a lot of ups and downs in the gaming industry. No matter how good you are at making games, there's always ups and downs. So we've been through the blood, sweat, and tears together. We got to at least have a moment, right? And we had an awesome moment together. If so much so where Jan Volta, our head music composer, he got the orchestra, he got the band together, and they played like Kingdom Come Deliverance music at the party. And like at this point, it's like an emotional, like, man, I'm almost like ready to have those man tears, but I sucked them back in,
Just pinch off the ducks.
And like I'm talking, all of a sudden I see Henry, like Tom McKay, the actor, like, and I'm talking to him, real cool dude, doing a couple selfies with him, but like he's a really humble guy, down to earth, and I'm like, man, here is Henry, like this is Henry, you know what I mean? Like first time I get to talk to him and see him, and I talked to some other people from the studio and just people who were the voice actors in the game, and it was awesome. Sorry, I'm just looking at the comments at the same time because it's so cool to see people talking about the game and stuff like that. But anyway, but that was short-lived, meaning we had a good time. But then, it was like right back to focusing on what we got to do. And, we get to the office that morning. Some of us didn't get much of any sleep. I think I got like 3 hours of sleep at best. And it's like reviews coming in. Boom, boom, boom. It's like bam, 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 bam. And like, this is like insane. It's like all our work is, then people are talking about the game. And like, you see oh, game's great, game sucks, game's great, game sucks, game's great. I don't know, I'm exaggerating, but and then it's man, honestly, we were honored to see people say yes, of course, there's bugs in the game and things like that, but if you enjoy the game for what it is, then you'll love it because it's only going to get better. And this is the truth. We're working day and hard to make this game better and better. And the fact of the matter is as much as we like to say, it's a unique game and there's things that you're going to do in this game that you can't in other games. Well, it's actually kind of true in our game because without no magic and dragons, and I see people playing the game and it's from the studio and it's what a ride, man. I'm with the guys in Prague. I'm instead of asking them questions on Skype about the game, I'm able to run and talk to the QA guys, and I'm bugging them left and right, asking them questions about things just because they're right in front of me. And JR, marketing manager, he's I somehow hope he there's no way he's tuned in, but sometimes he sorry, Tom.
You never know.
You never know. Well, if he is, sometimes it's funny because he gets he was stressed, and I'm man, JR, and I was pushing him in the shoulder while he's working, and he's a marketing manager, and he's trying to do all this stuff. And I'm I know you're stressed, man, but I got to bug you a little bit, and I'm bothering him at his desk. And he's go, shoot, get up. And it's just awesome to be working with these guys. And, even though we were looking at the reviews and stuff, we're working hard, man. Toby, our PR manager, is getting hundreds of emails, our support, people are talking about the game, but we have so much work to do. It doesn't stop. It's just our journey's almost just begun again. And so we're doing this because we love the feedback. And as soon as we're getting feedback, we're already talking about, okay, so what can we do here to make adjustments while keeping the game true to the game? And so, there's so much going on, but, it is not as, easy as you think. The game releases, and you think, oh, maybe now we're going to pop have a couple beers, ales, whatever, check beer and stuff. And it's no, we're right back at it. I'm working with the community. I'm getting, I have moderators for Steam and Reddit ready to go because we want to respond to the fans.
Well, here you are with us. I mean, you're right back in the saddle. Jumping on it, yeah.
And it's but I'm telling you, these guys are working still tons of hours overtime, and we just really love you guys, man. We love the fans, we love the feedback, and it's it's just making us work that much harder. And even the most recent updates that are coming, I mean, we're happy to announce that hey, we heard you guys, we are listening, we are going to fix the save and exit. We're going to have that thing going on. We're going to work on the lock picking to make it better. Or lock picking, and pickpocketing, and we're gonna actually make some stuff better with the respect, the alchemy, the recipes for a respect potion. We're going to work on, like I said, the many there's some bugs in several quests that we want to work on and squash them. So it's those sort of things that we always feel bad about. I was talking to one of the guys always man, I just I want to let these guys know that we're working hard. I'm they know you're working hard, man. They take it very. Not overly personal, but they care so much about, and I'm sure everyone says that, but these guys really, really do about what you guys are saying. So we want the feedback to keep coming, and we have everyone working around the clock, and it's great because I work in the U.S., so when they're in bed, I'm working. So we're constantly working to make this game a better game, and the PR part, again, I always say, oh, I get to talk about it, but when I'm working with the fans, when we have, things that tons of things we have to do, and traveling and this and that. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it, and we're just so happy that our game is we sold over 500,000 copies.
Exactly, you are halfway to 1 million, and the game just came out. I mean, that is this is the mark of a success is how fast you get out of the gate, and you look. There's a lot of great feedback that's going out around there. Yes, there are bugs. We've all experienced them. Yes, we're all complaining and joking about the lock picking. But in the grand scheme of things, that is a piece of what is really a dynamite game that, I mean, I've put, like I said, not only have I put time into it, I'm going back and I'm going back and loading old game saves to go redo parts, and I'm not complaining about it at all. I mean, I'm doing it out of enjoyment. That doesn't happen very often. I want to when we're done with the show tonight, that's where I'm going back to. There are bugs, but I want to go back to something that Play and Listen said a little earlier. It's and you've said this too. This is Warhorse's first game, right?
Right.
It's your first game. I think this game came out a hell of a lot less broken than a lot of AAA games that come out. And Play and Listen mentioned Fallout 4 as one, and a lot of people thought that was broken. I mean, Activision put out a Tony Hawk game that was unplayable. I mean, this is and this is a game with a ton of ambition, a ton of things that you guys wanted to do that was different, and so the game is actually in much better shape than I think even we might think it is. I think it's just we get a chance to talk about these things with you guys and the chat and you see a lot of it. I mean, a lot of the feedback we have seen online has been positive. I don't think I've seen anybody that says this game sucks. It's horrible. I don't want to play it. I haven't seen that at all. That's just. I just
want to get my Henry back to Talmberg and chat up Lady Stephanie some more because I swear she was dropping hints overnight.
She was. Oh man, I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that to turn. Oh, my husband he's gone, and oh really?
Yeah.
See, and that's another thing because a lot of people will be playing the game again too because of all the different. I mean, I'm actually see for those of you who don't know, I've put hundreds of hours into this game by presenting it over and over again, which has been great. And I've played builds before the game came out and stuff, but playing it in the final build the way I want to play it is still yet to be fully done by myself. So like I want to go through this game and I'm going to get the virginity achievement. You watch and get that. and I'll tell you what, it's not easy to do. And what's crazy is like you were tempted even in the game to do things that you were like, man, should I do this? Should I do that? Even if you want to play morally in the game and you're like, oh man, this would be really cool. This like chest. I just got a feeling that this chest is going to have this warhammer I want. Or this, I don't know. Man, this guy's being a douche to me. And you know what? I'm going to kill him. Or I'm gonna knock him out. I'm going to put him in a sleeper hold. You do the sleeper hold? Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah. You ever have him wake up? Got to watch out because they can wake up. And you know what else? There's some really cool tips you can do in the game like people don't think about. Like, if you have guards that are on their duty and you have another guard that's on his own by himself, you can put him in a sleeper hold, right? And then hide in the bushes, let him wake up. He's going to go and tell and alert the other guards, right? And then the guards will go and follow like kind of where it happened maybe. He's like, hey guys, it happened over here. And then those guards left their post and then you can go and sneak in.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
You know what I'm saying? There was so we talk about 3 to 5 different ways for a quest, but there's like 10 to 15, 20 different ways you could do things. You could sneak in and you can try and poison the food. I mean, sometimes you don't even have to do some big fight. Go and poison the food. You can try and be, challenge yourself. Can you get through an enemy camp and stealth kill all of them? And without being seen or heard. And then you'll start to level up your skills more by focusing on certain aspects. And it's just, I know this is not like the newest thing out there. Of course, there's other games like Skyrim, which you use is what you level up in. But the way the AI reacts in this game is like none other. I'm sorry, but all the different... No, I'm not sorry. Sorry, not sorry, right? Hashtag sorry, not sorry. But the way the AI is a living world and how they react and how we're actually still working and improving that, it's bar none. And I know it's a bold statement, but I believe it to be true. And I think you guys can agree with that. If not, Rick, you suck. I'll leave. Goodbye.
I don't know if I go that far. Yeah. I don't know if I'm deep enough to really comment on that, but no, I've thoroughly enjoyed the interactions that Henry has with everybody.
Sorry, I was laughing at what Nixium was saying about I play the upstanding citizen, but whenever I find a corpse on the road, report me to it. Yeah, I accidentally shoved my sword.
Yeah, and I love it. Everybody has a different experience with the game. Yes. That is so incredible. That we're all talking about the morals, like who's taking who to bed. That's where this conversation is going.
Right. Well, then it's a question of, do you play differently in front of your spouse?
Ooh.
Oh.
Who does that? I don't have to worry about it too much. I played Catherine with my spouse, so we're good, regardless of what happens. But
well, it's fun. See, I didn't know you could. See, I didn't know you could get it on with Stephanie. I was trying to get it. So it was really funny too because I was trying to hit on Teresa while I was at the mill, and like me in real life with the lack of game I have, I invited her on a walk, and she said,
"Oh yeah."
She said, "Not right now. I'm busy. It's not." Yeah. And then she said, "It's not you. What all women, right? It's not you."
Oh man, I was on a live stream with Jez and Roby on Mixer. I don't know if any of you guys were in there, but it was one of the first live streams we did when the game launched, and we were talking about the virginity achievement, and Jez goes, "Yeah, man, that's actually, talk about immersion. That'll be easy for me to do." It's like achievement unlocked already. I was like, "Oh."
Nice.
Actually, I find it hilarious because a lot of people are saying that in the forums too. Like, wow, this is just like real life. I'll get that achievement right away.
Undead said his wife is watching me like a hawk. So I said, if she gives you permission to, don't fall for it.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Just brutal. And that's another thing too for people who are completionists. The frustrating part is you can't get them all in one playthrough. It's impossible. It's just impossible.
All the achievements?
So you have to play the game again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have a problem with that. I never have.
Well, and I guess, even though you have the main quest that you have to deal with, you can get to it a different way. So if you play through a second time and you like I started out with speech and agility. So next time I can start out with strength and vitality and see where life takes me. I think that's really cool. We
used to call that replay value.
Yeah, and I like that. Some of the skills you have. You were talking about how the NPCs, kind of live and breathe in this world. One of the skills that you can gain is how you talk to women, even when you're dirty. I mean, it's this stuff like that. Like you can't sneak it. It makes it harder for you to sneak up on people when you're dirty and smelly, but women won't mind. And that's an actual skill you can learn. That's
absolutely
nice.
Absolutely. When I play this game, I like to play. They would tease me in chat because they would say is it in a joking way, but like I like to be more like the warrior, and so they're like typical American, just you guys and you're fighting, but it's all funny in games, right? It's kind of joking around, but I do like to play that way. In games, I've always played without magic and dragons, not dragons, but in Skyrim there's dragons, and I like killing the dragons, but I don't like using magic whatsoever in any role-playing game. So so now I like it, man, when I try to escalate things to get to those bigger fighting scenes when you're have you guys been to the point where you got to take out the gang? Or you don't have to take out. Well, maybe I shouldn't give away spoilers, but I want to fight, so I like picking fights. You know what I mean? So I yeah, man, get your boys, I'll get my boys. Let's go. Go. So and I love when you're in the heat of battle, it's chaotic. Am I right?
Yep.
You can be really good, and then that bastard with that bow and arrow, and he's and it's and then you see it the stuck in you, and you're trying to dance, whatever. But the random moments in those scenes and in the choices is what we talk about all the time. The choices and the realistic combat and all that stuff. And you put this game together, and it's just I think it's going to be something that people are still going to keep hearing about. I think there's still people that haven't actually heard of the game yet, but the buzz is getting there. It's getting out there. People are playing it. We were the number one streamed game when they first released. Now top 5 usually, and we're still number 1 or 2 right now globally for Steam sales, and we're honored. We're taken back so much so, and yeah, of course we believed in our game, but when the game releases, you're just hoping and praying because you want a future, right? So
sure,
we're going to keep supporting the game for a while.
Sure,
that's fantastic.
And you don't have to answer this if you A, don't have the information, or B, can't. But do you have a split on how well it's doing on console?
Well, see, the thing is when we talked about that we had over 500,000 copies, that's combined, and
nothing
right
wrong
now,
with that.
And so even though I say we're number one on Steam, we're still selling a massive amount of copies, but I don't actually have like all the little numbers, and actually I haven't really checked the numbers myself for the past like few days. So, because I don't like, I can't just pull them up on my computer. But bottom line is, like, I actually want to know where we're at right now, because 500,000 copies was like 3 days ago or something. So I'd like to know myself.
I think that would accelerate for you too, with what I've read around. Just anecdotally, people who play the game tend to like it. I've read some judgments and things like that or whatever, but when I listen to players that I trust talking about it, they're all about it.
Mm-hmm. It's funny, I'm looking at the comments. This Rick guy brags too much. I'm very passionate. Like, I get excited about it. So maybe it sounds like bragging, but I can't change me. I can't change being passionate. I'm sorry.
Don't take it seriously, because that's Nate.
Yeah, that's...
Is it Nate? Nate, you're done! You're done!
You're dead to him. You're dead to him.
I didn't even know it was Nate. I'm like, yeah, there it is. Okay, so anyway, there was another question about children in the game. With the children, there's a couple reasons. Yeah, it is, PEGI 18, but I'm sorry, but on my own, this is my own personal thing. This doesn't mean it was a game dev decision, but I find it kind of like, to start like hacking up kids in the game, or so we're not going to have that, right? So then we just have the kids in the game, but there wouldn't be enough of an importance of a role for the kids in the game to put them in the game, to take that extra time aside to have, the more of the family type atmosphere. So we only have so much time in the game when we had to focus on more important features than putting the children in the game. So that's...
Yeah, I just for me, I have enough. I've had enough kind of not issue or problem, but it was a kind of uneasy, just watching, bandits, killing just anybody they could. When you're walking along back to Skalitz and the road is littered with women and that were just slaughtered, and all I could think of is I don't know how I would react to seeing a child on the. So yeah, I'm okay with that.
And a child with Teresa deals. Okay, you got it. Next year. Rick was cool when I met him, but he did not buy me. Fastback, why didn't you buy me lunch? I showed you the game.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's right. Fastback had hands on before any of us did.
Yeah.
Or at least hands, eyes on.
I'm going to remember this. He owes me lunch. In fact, I'm going to get like the most expensive thing wherever we go. So
nice. Nice.
Anyway.
We got to figure out when you're coming our way. You got to go on tour and head down towards the Mid-Atlantic area. Because I know at least Peter and I would come meet you and take you to lunch.
No, yeah.
Yeah, man. We'll figure something out sometime. I'd love to. I'm traveling enough. Might as well. What the heck? Might as well go over to Atlanta or wherever you said.
Mid-Atlantic.
Atlanta. Oh, okay.
Maryland, okay. Virginia. Everybody forgets about Maryland.
I've been to Maryland before.
Have you?
Yep.
On a bet?
It was a long time ago. It was a pastor's conference I went to. It was kind of funny because I actually went there and I didn't want to be there.
That's don't worry. That's how a lot of us that live in Maryland feel anyway.
Well, I'm a very spiritual person, but I went to this conference and I'm like, what am I doing here? And Maryland is boring anyway. No, just kidding.
You're not insulting me. Trust me.
No, but what do we got here? Rick was cool. Oh no, Whataburger. I don't know what is Whataburger, guys.
We don't have one here.
It's a chain.
It's a burger chain.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why. So he wants to be cheap on our date. Yeah. Fastback.
Yeah, we have.
I've heard amazing things about it.
Yeah, we've got five guys here. That's our Whataburger.
Yep.
That's good stuff right there, man. They didn't have that in 1403 Skalitz. The townspeople might have fought back better.
That actually makes me think of another cool thing about the game, because I spent I don't know how long in the codex, and I was reading about how people who had money maybe had some venison, but mostly they didn't maybe have the meat, or how different beverages are made, or and how mostly people drank beer because clean water wasn't always something that was available. Or
yes,
it's just so great. It's about as good as like a Mass Effect. Like Mass Effect, I thought had a really awesome codex back in the day that fleshed out that universe. All that information and more immersing me into the 15th century. I'm all about it.
Same thing with baths and stuff. It was more people who had a bathtub was more a luxury, item, and not they didn't really use it more than the people without a tub and stuff.
What's really interesting too is like one time when I went to Gamescom with the guys, we went to a monastery in Germany, and we stayed overnight, and it was great because we actually stayed with the monks in the monastery, and it was kind of cool. I actually even went up and like Toby, the PR manager, he's talking to like one of the monks, and we after the service because we just walked into a service. When you're in this monastery, there's things to do besides like going to a service. You don't have to be religious to stay at this monastery. There's just a lot of rich history there, and like this monastery is like hundreds and hundreds of years old. And one of the things they were really well known for, the monks, was their brewing, their ale that they made. And they took us through a tour, and they showed us like the hops plant, or not the hops plant, but they showed us how they made it, and hops and the yeast and so on and so forth. But getting back to going into the service, Toby asked one of the monks if I could go, because Toby knows I'm a very spiritual person, if I could go up with the monks and pray like in their like room all the way up at the top. So we're walking up these stairs, and I think this guy actually felt awkward, this one monk, because like I don't think he gets asked that a lot to go up and pray with the guys. So I'm like, wow, this is like being in the video game, man, total immersion. And but I was up there chilling, praying with him. They didn't really like talk to me much because they didn't understand English, but. And I just left. I didn't know what to do. They were still there praying, so I just left.
Wow.
I walked down the stairs and I got lost. Oh, then I got lost in the monastery. I didn't know where to go. And then I saw these other people that could speak English. I was like, thank God, I don't know how to get out of here. It's really cool, man, just like seeing the actual history. And like some of the fans are like, man, I live like, because some people, obviously there's a lot of people that are playing this game that live in Czech or even Germany or whatever, and they see these places in the game and they're like, oh my goodness, it just... They can actually go and walk to these places. It's not the exact same look because we've reconstructed the castles and the cities. And
I'm sorry. That I've watched this before, but I want to back the video up for a second because you were talking about how things could go when you are like fighting in a group, and so this fight just happened, and in the middle of the fight, while you're trying to punch on a guy, your buddy takes a swing at him too. So I wanted to replay this fight real quick while you were finishing your story. Sorry, that is one of those times that you're talking about when you're in multi-person combat, and it's not so straightforward.
No, yeah, absolutely. And that's what's kind of cool. If you lose that fight with Kunish, and you shot the poo-poo, right, with the dudes, they'll help you beat up Kunish.
Right.
If you say that, hey, if I'm going to do this, but then you need to help me out. And that's what's great is you can fail quests or like mess up, right? And you feel like you're screwed. And then all of a sudden you find another way to solve the quest, right? It's awesome. And in this case, these guys are pissed.
Yeah.
Because it's got poo-poo in their face.
Yeah.
Now,
and the fact that you say poo-poo is great.
Oh, being with 5 kids, we say potty.
Oh, yeah. All right, so just while you're talking, just keep an eye on this for a second because you're going to watch. And by the way, you're doing damage to his face, too. Like, you cut him open partially through this fight. This is HTK's footage.
Mm.
This is your fight right here. See how
man, you got snuck.
Yeah, but wait, watch. Here it comes. Here. Oh! He got side swiped. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
See, yeah.
And they're still going at it over there.
And then here she comes. She's like, "Hello."
Hi. What are you doing, for God's sake?
She caught no hands. I don't know if they'd been playing. She might have caught some hands.
I don't know, man. Women in medieval times, they punched back.
They had to, man.
They will hit you. They will hit you with a grog of ale if they had to. So
the thing is, man, they had to, they had to defend the children. You want to talk about a responsibility? Jeez, not come in front of, do not cross a mother, trying to get to the kids or something. The mom will take you down.
Yeah.
Oh. This is always kind of fun too when you trigger the crime system and you're running, and then you ever try and hide and see the guard run past you and he can't find you.
Yeah,
I find it hilarious.
Aside from nabbing the armor at the Talmberg. Yes, thank you. Aside from nabbing the armor there, just stealing it, I've been a very good boy. I've triggered no crime.
Oh, cool. See, I think I want to go through the first time, like do it like I was telling you before, do it in my own way, even getting the virginity achievement. And the next time, I'm just going to slaughter everyone. Anybody kind of
Nice.
And then here's the thing. I don't know. I'm going to actually give you guys a little bit of gold in this, or what I'm going to talk about. So what happens when you slaughter a town? I mean, do they come back? And the thing is at some point in the game, they will, and it'll take a while, but some of them, the NPCs can come back in the game because we don't want it to be a point where you just can't literally play it anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even bandits, after you beat the game, you'll be able to play it still. And some bandits might come back and regenerate in certain areas, but like it takes a while. Like I don't know, maybe around 2 weeks of gameplay time, and 1 day is 96 minutes. So that's a long time before some people can come back in the game, because we don't want to just, you kill someone and then they come right back. No, we want you to pay the price a little bit. You know what I mean? You kill someone, or better yet, how about this? What if you're on a quest and you're like, you know what? This person wants me to do this. No, I'm just going to kill him because I'm done with this person, right? Then they're dead for the rest of the game. They're not coming back. So you really got to think about the decisions you make, because you're going to have to be stuck with some of those choices, unless you cheat like Mike and go back to a previous
Wait, when is that cheating? That's not cheating. That is called replay value.
It is. I'm just messing. That's fun. I like busting chops with you guys, man.
Oh man, we love you. You know that. So I did not mean to interrupt your German church story.
Oh, it's fine. I think we got it covered.
Yeah.
Bass had a question for Rick about Roach.
And the stable guy mentioned it. Oh, yeah. Did you guys see, there's a couple of, obviously, Easter eggs that are more prevalent, or more easier to notice, like the Lord of the Rings, a light to guide, how does the saying go with the torch? A light to guide when all places are dark. Oh, darn it.
Right, yeah, I know what you mean. I can't call it to my bad with recall, but yeah.
And to be honest with you, because I haven't really played Witcher 3 much yet, unfortunately, I have the game. I'll play it for an hour, and then it'll be like a month later, and I'm like, man, I don't know how to play this anymore. I got to start over again. Because I don't know what I'm doing. So I don't know. I'm sure it is, because our dev team, the guys and gals, they're hilarious. They just have, you can even tell in the achievements we came up with. So there's a lot of stuff that you pay homage to with the Easter eggs, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I've seen a couple of them, but I haven't gotten to any of those yet.
Be on the lookout.
So, wait, was that? Yeah, dude's got a mustache on his helmet. That is fantastic.
The humans.
Oh, right, humans.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if I mentioned it, but when I was doing my first attempts of playing there, and I got to the castle at Talmberg, and I was put on watch by Sir Robart.
Robart, yeah.
Right, and it gave him the option of just skipping the time. I didn't. It just felt like that was I was on watch, and I went and I talked to the other guards and had conversations.
Oh yeah, did the
and
same
it was
thing.
I think that the game's pacing with those slower moments really accentuates or highlights the parts with the horse chasing or fighting or whatever. I think you got to have those kind of lulls, because when it's just nonstop,
here we see
it wears or it gets worn out.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? You come at me with a stick. It's okay.
Must HTK, look at him taking this guy to town.
That's my gameplay.
Oh, it's your gameplay. So let me let you guys in on some other tips with fighting, because
that's my bandit.
I find that in our game, there's a lot of things that would help if people knew some approaches they could take. Like, for example, if you're fighting and you got the upper hand, purposely you can run into him, you grapple right, and then hit the attack button real quick, and you'll knock him back. Okay? When you knock them back, hit them a few more times because they're going to be knocked back and open up for more of like a combo. Make sure you unlock the perk to feint, right? So you can act like you're going to go one way and you attack another. It's going to throw them up. Because while you block, right, you don't have to pick the direction to block, but they do. So if they're up high, then you want to go low, right? So you can fake high, go in and do a little uppercut. But like even with Kunish with the fist fighting, a lot of times like I'll get in that grapple with him, I'll hit the attack button real quick, knock him back, and then I'll be able to punch him a little bit. So you want to take advantage of knowing how to use the grappling skills with the combos, and if you can be a little patient, hang in there, you can actually kick some serious booty, and then you realize, okay, it is a little more fun to do the combat. It's not. We don't just want you to suffer. We want to suffer with the lockpicking. We want everyone to break off. Don't worry, guys. We're patching it up.
So, I guess I had thought that Kunitz was not meant to be beaten in fisticuffs by Henry.
Oh, what?
It seemed like it's like limited by Henry's skill set or stats or like Kunitz is not really supposed to be beaten by Henry. But do I have that wrong? Can a skilled player walking fresh down from dad walk over and beat up Kunitz? Is that a possibility, or is it really outside that realm?
You mean like when you do this fight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knocked him down.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I must be terrible at it then because I got worked, but I came back with the boys. But yeah, I had thought that it was not supposed to be.
No, you definitely can. Now, when you face Run, remember when he has that like bat that looks like Lucille on steroids? So
right.
The Walking Dead. Remember, for those of you who watched, and there's no way you're beating that guy. That guy's like at that point, you haven't really swung a sword much, and he can knock you out in one hit. But as you can actually with him if you get a critical hit. But anyway, yeah, the point being is you can, and nice. It's kind of like I don't know, maybe like Dark Souls. You face a boss and you're like, man, there's no way I can beat him, but you actually can if you. It might take you some time, but I think it took me 2 or 3 times to beat Kunish when I first started giving it a go myself.
I have 2 different Xboxes I play on the X downstairs and the old Forza edition in the bedroom. And that Forza edition, I'm gonna have a separate save on that. I think 2 different saves going, and I'm just gonna start with that's my whole mission is to get footage of me beating up that dude.
Oh, do it!
That's gonna be my achievement right there is doing it straight from dad, straight to that dude, punch him in the face.
Awesome.
There you go.
Nice.
Very nice.
So how important it seems like one of the things that I'd like to see more of is the ability to find and use horses more. I'm not a fast travel guy. I've used it here because fast traveling doesn't cost you anything except for health, or not health, but nourishment and energy. But I kind of like the free roaming, walk the land and stuff. But I've found that getting a horse is hard as crap, and they're just not in good numbers. I feel like there's definitely more. Everybody can get a horse, but me.
Did you know that there's actually armor you can get for your horse as well?
The horse armor? Is it a DLC unlockable?
Yeah.
No, you can get it in the game. You know what? So how many hours are you in right now, you think? Guesstimate.
I'm probably only like 4 or 5 tops.
4 or 5?
I'm at the hunting scene, or starting to hunt that dude. Yeah.
Hey, Nate, how about you? No, that's okay. We won't.
Oh!
No, I'm sorry. Or we could talk about Frankie too. No. Monster Hunter. No. Actually, I too. It's a good game. It's a good game. And wait. Let me give credit to Nate. He carried us last night in Gra a little bit, or not Gra, Wildlands. Okay, there you go, Nate. I got you. No, but what were we just talking about? I lost my train. Oh, horse armor. Yeah. So actually, there's a few people that actually came out with some interesting. If you want help, like they came out with some cool guides that I could actually just send you a link, and where you can find the horse armor and where you can find more of the variety of horses. Because you remember, one of the things I like to stay is with a consistent horse in the game, because they do level up their stats, right? Even their charisma, right? And take care of your horse. And I don't like the fast travel, even though the fast traveling in the game is actually really cool. It reminds me of like a little bit of Oregon Trail kind of thing.
Yeah.
I hadn't done that yet, so I didn't know that.
Well, but like after I got to Rovia and I got off my horse as part of the
Ravna.
Ravna, is that it? All right, see, even I get them wrong. I couldn't call him back. Like, there's a way to call your horse back, and I couldn't.
Well, but I don't think it was your horse, though.
Yeah, well...
Did you steal that horse?
No, it was my horse. It was the horse I rode in on. It was me and the horse I rode in on. It was the horse that I had when I was getting chased to
Talmberg. But you stole that horse, though. It was not your own horse, was it?
Depending on the way I had it was when I fled Skalitz. That horse from that point was my horse, Olena. It was named. I didn't name the horse, but when I woke at Talmberg, then I walked past the four or five horses that have stabled right there inside the castle, and Olena didn't have the steal option.
Right.
And looked at the horse I had. So, right.
I only have 3 horses in there.
My horse.
Yeah, I had 4.
And all of them I can only steal them. So I took one and rode off.
This is not so pleasant, speaking of horses, right? When they're like wiped out in Neuhof.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
But the horses look so good, though.
They do.
Textures on the horse, it looks like they actually have, hair and stuff, and the eyes and stuff. It's done really well.
Yeah, like Nixium brought up a good point. There is another horse is called Pebbles, and that'll be one of your horses. But again, there's other things that'll happen down the line. I mean, some of you guys are still kind of getting your feet wet, right? So you'll see more in the game, more options will become available and all that.
And again, that's the crazy part, is we're just getting our feet wet. Like, we're just getting into this game, and I wanted to follow up on something Juan said earlier about the codex. I actually mentioned this in the first stream that I did, I think on Thursday? Whenever I did my first opening stream on this game, I kind of said the same thing. I said, people have to really take a look at the codex, because the amount of information that's in there, in and of itself, had to have been a huge effort to get this information, get it historically accurate, and then put it into the game. A lot of people pass that stuff by so much. They won't even look at it, and they miss so much good info. It's you get a sense of who King Wenceslas is, other than just his Christmas song. You get a good idea of what these places were. And as Juan was saying, why people drank beer over water, why people did the things they did, how you lived in that era. And right. I thought some of the stuff in there was really interesting, and I stopped to read it a good bit myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. You can decide to, if you really want to know about the history, you can read it or not. You don't have to, but it's kind of neat too that it mentions some of the non-fictional characters that are actually in the game and about them, and then some that are not in the game but were there in history. And then you can even read about like John Huss, who led a Reformation and protested against some of the things that was going on with the Catholic Church. And it's just really neat to see all this stuff in the game and focusing on that civil war between, King Sigismund of Hungary and, King Wenceslas IV of Bohemia. And, just each location, right? Says you discover a new location, then you can read about it in the Codex about what actually happened in history. So right. It's great. It's great. I love it. I love the attention to detail that's went into the Codex and the tutorial too. I mean, let me ask you guys this. What do you guys think? Let's say someone out there who, it's their first role-playing game. Do you think that this is a game that they can jump into and play? First role-playing game.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to say yes, because you could have said no, so thank you for saying yes.
No, I mean it though, because it's not, the tutorial is simple enough to follow. It tells you what you need to do, where you need to go, who you need to talk to. That's all good. It doesn't weigh you down with a bunch of systems or picking things as you go. You just answer a couple quick questions, and it kind of gets you rolling on on your progression. Yeah, no, I think anybody could pick it up. Aside from my inability to, box apparently, but yeah.
But you need to take your time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So don't think like, hey, I can play this I have 30 minutes to spare, and let's start this game, and hopefully I get halfway. No.
Yeah, no, it's one of the reasons that I'm only so far into it as I am is I kind of want to, when I get fully into it, to just main it, if you will. It's going to be the primary time thing. Right before it came out, I got hung up on this obsessive compulsive deal about needing to get through Battletoads on one setting, and that took a couple weeks an hour here, an hour there to work through so I could get through in one play. So that was taking a bunch of my time, which is why I'm not as far into this as I would like to be. But honestly, from the initial experience and the world building that's in the game, like I said, that dialogue between that leader and the man who killed the parents, all these aspects make it possibly, and I don't think I have to worry about our viewers with a little flame shield action here, but I think it's a better open world than the most recent Hyrule.
Wow.
I like it. It's more immersive, and it's more interesting to me than Breath of the Wild. It's the best open world this gen since maybe Mad Max.
Sorry, Nate. We got a Rickroll thing going on here.
Nice.
It's funny you say that, Juan. I mean, because I love Breath of the Wild. Like I love that game, and my kids watched, and they helped me out with the puzzles, and I put like 150 hours in that game. And it's like, when it comes down to it, it's personal preference, and it's hard to compare the two, right? Because they're both their own games in their own right. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I think it's actually a great balance. You have one game where you can really get caught up in the lore of Hyrule, the fantasy, the awesome, just the boss battles you have, the story, and then Kingdom Come Deliverance, the realism. So it's like, but those games can bounce off each other quite well.
Sure. No, definitely speaking preference. But yeah, I think I also kind of like you. I couldn't stick with Witcher 3. I would get into it. I played it so far, and then I kind of get out of it, and I came back and I got my ass kicked by the ghost at the well because I had no idea what I was doing again. So I'm with you on that. So far, this year for me, or this generation for me, my favorite open world game has probably been Mad Max. I love the Mad Max universe. I like the whole Magnum Opus building the car. I like the way that handled world building and how you learned about that world through the things he found at outposts and things like that. But this would be right up there with it on that top tier world creation of an open world game.
Awesome. I like watching the gameplay here, seeing you guys go. I mean, that was a cool question in and of itself. Did any of you guys? Some of you guys haven't gotten to this point yet.
Yeah, some of this is generic footage. Some of it's a mixture of stuff we pulled from you guys and then our own experiences.
And you pulled some good stuff too.
Just out of curiosity, because I haven't gone very far, is there fighting from horseback?
Yep. There's mounted combat, and with pole arms, sword, and then what I love is when you have the halberd, and you kind of sneak up and you just stab the guy, poke him right off his horse. It's great.
Nice.
Fantastic. Yeah. Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe part of it's because I'm an old school tabletop guy too. D&D and all that stuff. So this resonates more to me than some of the fantasy stuff. And with the combat and the weapons and things like that.
Right. I just like the era. I like the, this feels like the choose your own adventure style of Fable meets Robin Hood. And
interesting.
And I kind of like being able to do what I want, how I want to do it, within the confines of the story, within the confines of what Henry has to go through, but how he gets there is not set in stone, and I love that. And then to just I skipped Shadow of Mordor this time around because I was like, I've done this game before. I've done the orcs. I've done the magic. I've done that kind of stuff. I've done the climb up the castle wall kind of thing. I'm ready for. I'm just ready. I was so ready for this game, and that's why I think for most of us that are playing it, the bugs don't seem that earth-shattering to us. Yes, we keep going back to lock-picking, but the fact you can get through the game without lock-picking, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you can get through most of the game without killing people if you want.
Exactly. So, we get a chance to mold our character in whatever way we want, and three of us here have different characters, and we all have different characters than the folks that are in the chat room, and that's something special. That's something that even in games where you do level up and you can get skills and things like that, you play Mass Effect Andromeda or you play The Witcher, or you play these games, you're still kind of shoehorned into a path where you kind of got to do this. You kind of have to be that. You have to learn how to do this. Here you don't. When you go to get that dead man's ring from the executioner, you've got three different ways of getting him to give you the ring. You can either talk him down and try to appeal to his humanity, or the way that I did it, I convinced him to go over and get something from the miller. So he left his whole compound wide open, and I went and lockpicked and found the ring. Mm-hmm. Because and what's really great is it's also so what we didn't talk about was the day-night cycle, and how that really comes into play, not just with the fact that you need to sleep and you need to eat and you need to find that balance. It's people don't. I don't know if people have really gotten a good look at that model yet. But when you sleep, your nourishment goes down, your energy goes up. When you eat, you expend energy to even eat, and you can overstuff yourself and become.
Yeah, that amused me. The first time at Talmberg there, I'm in the kitchen after you get woke up and taken down there, and I just went hog wild in the kitchen, and the little icon changes to like a pig's face. Yeah, and it's like, you're gonna be slow, and in the Marines we called it being fat, dumb, and happy.
That's great. And you know what? We've implemented a lot of concepts that people are not familiar with or used to. Even drinking in the game and the side effects and things like that. And it's so unique that. What's great is that more and more that people play this game, you'll just start to learn that this is what you do. This is what this game is all about. It's like there's no one's going to be able to say have the exact same story. It's not possible. And so I feel like whatever we end up doing in the future, people are going to know that this is what is set. I think that other games are going to try and come up with. The different ways you can solve quests in a unique way that I actually look forward to people saying, man, I get some Kingdom Come vibes from this game. And then I'll probably want to play that game too. I think that we're doing something that a lot of people are going to look at and be like, yeah, you know what? We need to go back to the drawing board. I really believe that. And I can't wait for, to see even other ideas that people come up with other game devs just from our creative director, Dan Varva, Martin Klima, our executive producer, and just amazing things. I want to talk when we all get through most of the game or beat the game, and we can all just talk about write down. We don't have to do our homework. Write down some notes. Some of the bigger things that happen, the funniest things that happen, the most craziest thing that happened, and then talk about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. People talk about launch timing on a game. For example, Titanfall 2 got murdered. Largely because of when it launched and all that. Aside from that kind of thought, not trying to take it down that road. I think this game came out at the perfect time for what it is, because we've seen the high fantasy games and everything. This feels really fresh compared to everything this gen that I can think of.
Well, you did go up against a big game release. I mean, I know Frankie said he hasn't played this yet because he's playing Monster Hunter World. You released around Monster Hunter World. That was considered a big, giant AAA, highly anticipated title, and
it's done well too.
It has, but for Kingdom Come to also, in 3 days do 500,000 copies up against a big release like that, you gotta have some. That's got to give you some pride. I mean, it's two different games, and that's a good thing. But it's hard to release. It's hard to release against a larger game sometimes when you're the first, the new kids on the block. And
yeah, I'm just thinking of the fact that it's so different from everything else on the shelf right now.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And people have to see it. People have to, that's why I'm glad you're here. I'm glad that we were able to run footage while we've been talking about it because people have to see it. People have to understand what this game does. It's funny because in my personal life, part of what I do is I have a little two-man band, and we use some technology to create the other instrumentation. And I can't tell you how hard that is to sell because people are expecting, for an event to either hire themselves a DJ or hire themselves a full 5-piece band. And when I try to explain to people what we are, which is totally different, we're two guys, one of us plays the keyboard, one of us plays the guitar, we sing, and we have MIDIs that back us up, and people just, they can't visualize it. But once we get in front of people and they see what we do, it's a totally different thing. I kind of feel this way about Kingdom Come because everybody's got this notion about what a medieval game is. It's Shadow of Mordor. It's orcs and dragons. It's Skyrim, and this is not Skyrim in any way, shape, or form, and it's a good thing.
Oh yeah, because it's not fantasy by rote.
Right, and so I'm hoping that the folks who haven't played the game yet, who are even going to watch this show later, will see this footage and go, "Wow, this is something that I want to play." No, I haven't seen a single dragon the whole time. I haven't shot fire. I haven't shot Hadoukens at orcs. I haven't done crazy stuff like Frankie's doing. So that's my hope, is that people will see this game and go, okay, yeah, this is exactly what we've been waiting for. Because for me, it has been. I've been waiting for this game since you guys announced it.
Absolutely. Hey, real quick, was Nate trying to talk? Because I couldn't hear him. You there, Nate?
I muted myself for a second because my mom was saying goodnight. But no, I was saying that you guys were doing so good that you guys scared off Far Cry 5. That's how good this game is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And Sea of Thieves.
Yeah,
that's right.
You're just winning right now.
Yeah.
You're that good.
So let me tell you, there was a scale test this weekend for Sea of Thieves to scale up for their final launch. I was playing Kingdom Come.
Yes, so did I.
Wow, awesome! And believe me, I can't wait to play Sea of Thieves with you guys.
Yes.
Sure.
Oh,
We've had a lot of fun with it already.
We have, to be fair. I can't wait. That's a day one. That's probably when I get my Xbox Game Pass. So
I can't wait, Rick, to see what your kids think of it.
Oh, Sea of Thieves? Yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing your stories.
Okay.
Because you can do a lot of funny stuff with that.
Yeah.
It's always nice to see what kids do with their moms and dads.
Oh, I can't wait. The funny thing is, they've been watching me play, obviously, like games like Kingdom Come Deliverance, it's not very kid friendly. Yet then again, my son, I'll show him the moments where you're not messing around at the pub or doing this or that with the ladies or whatever. I told you I'm going for the virginity achievement anyway, but I do definitely. My son does love Kingdom Come Deliverance, and actually my girls like it too, and they like when I get to play the Farkle, when I play the dice game.
Nice game.
But
love that game.
I only got to play it once, by the way, only in Talmberg. I haven't been able to find it again. Where else can I play that game? Because that is fun.
So right now, I mean, when you see it in the beginning of the game, and to be honest with you, being that I haven't like explored every nook and cranny, I can't remember where else it would be.
I'm gonna have
but
to find
it's
it.
At least right now, because you can always go back. Well, Scalus was burned to the ground, as we know.
Right. I'm sorry, Scalus. That's where it was, not Talmberg.
No, not Talmberg, but at any rate, what was I going to say about? I decided to play like a different game with the kids besides we were doing Mario Kart after Breath of the Wild, and then Shadows of the Colossus. I've been playing with it. The kids love Shadows of the Colossus. I'm like, oh, cool. So
yeah, it's got those that big style, that kind of breathtaking. It's huge,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I had kind of a fun story from the Sea of Thieves stress test. I got in, and I had purposely chosen to sail by myself while manned on a sloop, and I got a treasure map, and I sailed to the island, and I'm pretty proficient at it now. I've got quite a few hours in the game, and I found first dig with the shovel, bang, there's a chest, awesome. As I'm digging it up, I see sails on the horizon, or a sail, it's a sloop, and so I dig it up as fast as I can. I'm running back, and sure enough, they are sailing straight for me. It's at least one man on that ship, maybe two. If it's two, that's more problematic. So I swim out to the boat, and I chuck the chest down, and I start working the anchor, run to the helm, and haul it over hard. And I'm trying to twist the sail around. I'm trying to cut inside of them. I'm trying to turn inside of them so I can get to the wind and flee. And as I step away from the sail, a cannonball whizzes past my head. I've got a clip of this on my Twitter. It's really awesome. They chase me, and as I'm approaching, I need to get this chest off my boat. I need to turn it in, or else my time has been wasted. So they're chasing me, and I'm attacking left and right and making them miss cannonball shots. And we get to the island outpost, and I'm sailing around the far side of the island. So as soon as I'm not in sight, I give it a little rudder so it'll try to circle the island a little bit and dive off the boat with my treasure chest. Let the boat just run. I don't care. That's my diversion. They chase the boat. I turn in the treasure chest, and my boat runs aground. And I can hear it grinding, and I know this thing is going to get tore up. And they anchor off of it, and dude swims over to it, and it turns out it's just one guy. He swims over to it. He's going to try to take any other chests or anything like that off of it. So I swim to his anchored boat and take it. And I, use his loaded cannon to put an extra hole in my boat on the way. Because
nice.
Why not? He's on the deck, and why not shoot back at him? And of course, he was a skill player. He'd been around for a while. He actually went into the menu and then scuttled his own ship, so I didn't get too far. The new player might have gotten a little further before they came to that.
You should not be allowed to do that. If somebody else takes over your ship, you should not be allowed to go in and scuttle your own ship when you're not on it.
Yeah, I don't know. The way the respawn mechanic is, I don't know. You'd be screwed otherwise, unless you just want to keep spawning on it and have me spawn kill you or something. Because I'll be waiting on the where they come up on the boat with the blunderbuss and just give them the barrel. But no, it was kind of funny. We were laughing afterwards. I'm like, I'm a better pirate than you, man. I turned in my gold and I stole your ship. You're the worst pirate I've ever known. It's like,
you learned his lesson though.
I can't wait to play this game.
No,
we can't
it's
wait,
pretty
Rick.
sweet.
You're hanging with us, brother.
Yeah, you got a spot on our crew anytime.
Absolutely, awesome. And of course, a spot on the show anytime too. I love how you're like, hey, Mike, got room? Of course.
Yeah. Do it.
So, yeah.
Do what?
So, hey, by the way, I want to ask you one question before we move to Juan's Retro Rec, because we are getting. I want to make sure I'm cognizant of everybody's time.
Wow, time's flying.
Yeah, it is. And but so Deep Silver published the game, right? But
they're a co-publisher, yes.
Okay. So as we found out this week, Deep Silver got bought by THQ Nordic.
Yes.
Does that affect you guys in any way? And does that affect anything going forward with Warhorse?
So yeah, it's a great question. So when we talked about it at the studio, I'm like, oh, this is interesting. THQ Nordic. So like, I'm like just curious. I'm like, what's going to change? Like, actually, it's kind of cool. We're just going to keep on going. Everything's going great, and we are. I mean, I'm just the community PR guy. What do I know anyway?
For now.
Yeah, for now, right. Hey, why don't we all get our own studio right here? We'll call us the 1, 2, 3, the six knucklehead studio or something. I don't know.
Yeah. As long as THQ will buy us.
But bottom line is, no, nothing's going to change. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. The game's done great. You know, if we sold like 10 copies, then, well, it wouldn't matter who our publisher was at that point, would it?
No.
That's true.
No. You'd be a permanent member of our podcast because
no, nothing's going to change. Just everything's going to be good. So
awesome.
Everything's smooth line, streamlined. Yeah, but of course we were like, okay. So yeah, no, everything's good.
Well, you know, when they bought the media company that owned Deep Silver, they had to have known that they were.
I think it's Coke.
Yeah, I think so too. KOCH Media.
Yeah.
They had to know. They had to know that. They had to see where Kingdom Come Deliverance was going. I mean, Deep Silver owns. They also of course own Metro and they own Saints Row. So obviously THQ was picking up some IPs that were really solid, but at the same time, they had to know.
Is that Dying Light as well?
Dying Light, Dead Island.
No, Dying Light's WB.
Right, Dead Island is what they picked up.
And to clarify, it's not Deep Silver. It's Koch, or they call it Koch Media.
Koch.
That's how you say it. Koch.
Right, but Koch owns Deep Silver.
Right.
So they picked it up. I'm just saying they had to have known what Kingdom Come was doing numbers-wise when they decided to make this deal. So
yes.
I think it's funny, like, looking at that whole thing happening, because Nordic kind of bought out, like, you know, the stuff after, like, the major auctions from the THQ bankruptcy stuff, and now, like, Deep Silver was the one that acquired a lot of the other bigger stuff. You know, they eventually went on to acquire Homefront from Crytek, and now, like, Nordic has essentially, like, spent more money acquiring all this stuff that they could have got cheaper if they had gone for it at that auction.
Yeah. Well, but still, drop in the bucket for what they could have paid.
Yeah, it's true.
I had a conversation with Undead last night. We were wondering, at $150 million, why we didn't wake up to Microsoft owning them, because that would have been an interesting deal, considering what they paid for Mojang.
Yeah.
You know, they paid.
It's pocket change.
Exactly. So. But that's for another conversation. I don't want to drag Rick into something where he may not be able to talk about,
or know nothing about.
About. Well, you know, you're doing your thing with Kingdom Come, so
yes, yes.
All right.
So do you remember, Rick? I did not have the best impression of Deep Silver after Dead Island.
Dead Island.
And I had a nickname for them that I've since dropped. KCD has turned it all the way around. They are no longer Derp Silver. I totally revoked that.
All is well now. So
right.
Moving on.
Moving on. Right. So let me just make sure this is who I think it is. I'm still learning everybody's Twitch handles, which are slightly different than their YouTube channel trailers. So I just want to make sure that's who I think it is. But it could be. So and again, I want to thank everybody who's been in the chat today, man. It's been a fantastic chat room, probably one of our best.
Oh, yeah.
And we are humbled. People people followed us over from YouTube. And that's not easy. Not an easy thing. So it's because we got Rick on the show.
The only one missing is Deacon.
Yeah, Deke's not here. We'll get him. We'll get him back. So all right, let us move to my favorite portion of the show. Notwithstanding, Rick, of course. But we all know what's coming now.
One.
quite a few of these now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to trim this down a bit. So many good games in here, though.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, we're gonna have to add another one.
Yep, we are. Hang on a second. We're gonna bring it up. We lost Nate, by the way. I'm gonna try to get him back while we're.
No.
All right. Whenever you are ready, good sir.
Yeah, go ahead and kick it off. Today we're going back to September 1991 on the Nintendo Entertainment System, and we're talking about NES Open Tournament Golf. I love this game so much. It's just one of the greatest 8-bit golf games you're going to find. It was developed and published, of course, by Nintendo. Developed by Nintendo R&D 2, that's the division. They were founded in the 70s, known for Mach Rider, Ice Hockey, and the Game Boy Advance port of A Link to the Past plus Four Swords. They're also responsible for the Zapper Beam Gun games and the Beam Gun itself. And they merged with Nintendo Software Planning and Development in 2005. Nintendo, of course, was founded in 1889 as a playing card company. And their history could be its own wreck, so we're going to not go too deep. But they had tried several other ventures before making gaming electronics. They had a taxi service, a TV network, a food company, and a love hotel chain. Still one of the world's largest video game companies by market capitalization. So what we have here is a single and two-player golf simulator game. The player's goal is to rank up among tournament golfers and make $1 million. You can rank up by playing stroke play games of golf versus individual NPC opponents, or you have to rank up through stroke play, not match. But usually, if you have two good 18-hole games, you'll pick up a rank, which will allow you to make greater money and play higher-tiered golfers to make more money. Rank ties right into how tough those opponents are. And it's visible actually on a small sign when you are at the title screen. You'll have either a B for beginner, an A for amateur, S for semi-pro, or P for pro. There are 3 different courses in the game. The US course, which generally is considered the easier one with shorter holes, but does have also the longest hole, the longest individual, and not much in the way of water hazards. The Japanese course is the middle course, and it has water on nearly every hole, and the largest sand trap in the game. And the most difficult is the UK course. That has narrower fairways, more effectively placed sand, and water hazards. What we're seeing here is that on the first shot of this par 4, I've hooked it pretty bad, or sliced, maybe off to the right, and Luigi put it right down the fairway, so he got on in 3. And I'm just off the fairway after recovering after my first bad shot, and we get a little cool animation as I chip it in. So I get that. This is in match play, so when Luigi kind of muffs the putt there, then we're looking at CrazyJuan's hole, which sounds bad. But one up and one down for Luigi, and that's how this plays through in the match play. It's like a skins game. So you're counting how many holes you win. That's how you play up in the match. Well, you can't play in this way. It has the fairly traditional golf game controls. You get your swing speed, your top backspin, the swing meter. So you got the triple button press. Once to start your swing, once to set your power level, and again for accuracy, which controls your slicing or hooking of the ball. Also, high and low strikes on the ball too. The spin, of course, rolls into whether you want it to maybe get a little extra rollout if you're landing on the green, or maybe if you want to stop it on the green, you want to put some backspin on it. Club selection, the lie of the ball, the wind, and skill with the swing meter can all determine the accuracy and distance of your shots. When you're playing in stroke play, which is kind of standard golf scoring, there's also challenge holes, particularly in tournament play, where you can have, say, longest drive, closest to pin, those kind of extra little opportunities to make some money. I personally think the music, even though it gets a little repetitive, I love the OST of this game. It's just got a catchy, kind of peppy feel to it. I spent hours back in the day trying to make my million. It wasn't my copy, so I never got it done. So now that I have one, that's something I like to do possibly. I had always borrowed it, never got it done. It has a pretty extensive clubhouse set of options where you can register the name. That's why it's CrazyJuan here. You can edit and choose your clubs for your bag. You can set default game options, like whether or not the cursor stays where it is, rise, or if you're resetting it every time. Things like that. You can see various stats and performance metrics you've had about how accurate you've been, or holes and ones. There's a replay option where you can go back and see some good shots you've made. There's a cameo for Donkey Kong. He plays the accountant. So when you're turning in your winnings or checking on your balance, Mario visits Donkey Kong. You can also edit the tournament roster, which is kind of a nice touch. I've gone through, and already on this copy that I have now, I've gone through and I've set all the people in the game to people that I know either from the show or from Twitter or whatever. So at some point in this clip, I think Nate is leading a tournament and Fastback might be in second or whatever. And so there's our scorecard on the match play or skin play. So beat Luigi, take the money, and watch. There's also a training and a practice mode where you can, if one particular hole is giving you some trouble, you can go back, revisit, practice it until you get better. Just doing that tournament intro. Oh, here's the Donkey Kong cameo. It was received pretty well. Nintendo Life, he gave it a 6 of 10 on the Wii U eShop version back when it came out. It was kind of tough to find a lot of information for reviews of the day online, but IGN gives it a 7.5 of 10, praising great graphics for the NES and the best take on golf on 8-bit hardware. I picked it up for $8 at a secondhand shop, right around that. And so, if you're looking for some extra Mario, some of that side Mario action, that's not the mainline games, it's a pretty good one to add to the dropped in. Oh, that little doo-doo-doo. There's my birdie. This isn't stroke play now in the tournament, so every so often you can go in and check the leaderboards. And I think in the clip I do have a leaderboard shot coming up, but show that added. You can also get a report on the lie of the ball, what the green looks like in advance. Got Miyamoto in there playing. I didn't have the heart. I didn't have the heart to erase Iwata. Was
hey.
No, of course not.
Kicking butt. So now that's why I haven't been playing Kingdom Come.
Right, because you've been golfing in my Nintendo.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's they're not too hard to come by. I think loose carts are going between $7-12 online. And so if you like golf games, it's the best one you can have for your NES. And so it's this week's retro recommendation.
Cool.
Man, that was a hole in one.
Thank you.
Oh, Lord. Man. So great stuff as always. And we continue to also put the recaps that Juan does up on the Twitch channel. There are a few of them there, and I think there is one ready to go, right? Shadowgate?
Yeah, Shadowgate. I just recorded, kind of redubbed the notes I have for over the video and put that up. So that should be going up soon. Yeah,
so we'll get that. I'll actually get that up and premiere tomorrow. And every once in a while, I like to just, for those who haven't seen them, I like to just run them. One of the neat things about Twitch that is different from what we do on YouTube is I can always give out YouTube links to things, but on Twitch, when you do videos, you have to premiere them now. You can't just upload them and they just go. You literally have to premiere them. So it's like a live stream where you can even come in and chat and leave messages and stuff like that. And then once that live stream is done, I can rerun it like a show anytime I want. So what I like to do from time to time is take all of the retro recommendation recaps that Juan has done, and I like to put them up and stream them kind of, live, so that people that are on Twitch that haven't had a chance to see us might find it in a search or something like that and then come check it out. Because his stuff is really is fantastic. And we love the Retro Rec. It's really one of my favorite segments that we do here. So, and
yeah, that was the 35th, and I'll keep them coming as long as people want. I just had a really nice little haul of old cartridges and a disc. I picked up a PlayStation disc, a couple of Super NES and Genesis cartridges. So yeah, I'm set for material for a little while.
I'm still waiting on the one that's the Capcom game that I've got the soundtrack for that I was going to put to the intro video. You know which one I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. Yep.
So yeah, and we're looking to do more things like this. Like obviously having great guests on, guys like Rick who come and talk about games and stuff with us. But we're also looking at some other new things that we want to do here to kind of differentiate us from being a podcast and kind of just being more. If you notice that the logo at the bottom no longer says the original Next Level Gaming Podcast, we really want to morph this thing going into 2018 into a show, the Next Level Gaming Show, where we have different stuff going on. We obviously like talking about the industry and talking about what's going on in the games news and stuff like that, but I really want to emphasize, gameplay and the things that we're doing as gamers rather than, just always trying to make up topics to talk about and things. So, stick with us because we're going to continue to evolve, kind of like, Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
So, and as we've hit 11:06, unless obviously Rick, we're going to give you the last word here. Does anybody else have any questions while we've got this fine gentleman here?
Well, just real quick, I just wanted to mention too that now that it'll be a little while before we do more Sea of Thieves as this test ends, and aside from my KCD time, of course, I'm thinking about putting feelers back out on Twitter, see if anybody interested in running race nights in Forza again. So depending on the response I get on that, we might start being able to do that again soon. I'll have to figure out when, but now I have the 3-day weekends weekly because I'm on 10-hour days. So generally speaking, Saturday, Sunday, Monday are good for me. So if there's enough interest, we'll start doing race nights again because I really enjoyed when we were doing that.
Nice.
Yeah, sign me up.
Well, and obviously gaming together is, part of a lot of what we do. It's not, we don't, and I'm not so much me with work and stuff like that, but, you guys play all the time together, and Rick jumps in and plays Ghost Recon, and,
I was going to say, Ghost Recon night, too, if anybody wants to.
We should do that. We were talking about once a week, man. I love to play Wildlands at least one.
Tell me when, let me know when, because I might put some. I think I need to put some time aside to do that. So, if you guys have a night that you want to do that, I need to do that. We got to. I've seen people getting back into the Division now too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
Yeah. And that one I actually own.
Apparently, the Division has gotten the Rainbow Six Siege treatment, which again another game that's continued to evolve, and Ubisoft's got something special going on with their game series because they're taking these games that are we call them games as a service kind of, and they're really keeping them going. You guys have we go over software MPD numbers once a month when they come out, and Rainbow Six Siege still sells 2 years later. That's impressive. So. Anyhow, anything else?
Humiliator.
Anybody else for anything before we roll out?
No, I'm good.
Rick won't pay for your medical bill, though. Sorry.
Thanks for coming on, Rick. Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm sorry I yawned a few times, but I still got the jet lag, still kind of fresh.
That's all right. Okay. Your energy came through.
Cool.
Before you disappear, a couple of people keep asking, is there a place that people can buy some merchandise for Warhorse or the game?
So there's a shop that you can go online, and it's kind of like Amazon. It's it's actually Elza. Elsa? I don't know. At any rate, we're going to be getting more, probably I'm sure eventually, but we don't actually have, like, we're kind of limited, but I think it's Elsa. You could, I mean, I think you have to order from a UK shop, so it's not, like, from the US, of course, but that's, like, the only place where you can just go and purchase it. Of course, who knows, maybe I'm sure maybe sometime I could give something away. Hold on. Actually,
It's Christmas. Oh my god.
yeah, no, now I'm really teasing, right? But some of this is actually I have moderators that have been doing such a good job on Steam and Reddit that I have to help them, especially when we had, people, reporting feedback and bugs that we're working on. Oh, I really made a mess, guys.
It was like the Muppet Show for a second.
Your wife knows your Twitter account now, so.
Oh, I blasted her. Wasn't that great?
But you give her a shout out right now. She'll appreciate that.
The next podcast I come on here, we'll do a giveaway or something.
That sounds excellent. Speaking of which, we're gonna have to we'll scuttle our giveaway till next week. Juan.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll announce it now. Not that anybody will remember, but next week we're gonna give away a 14-day.
14-day.
A 14-day code for Xbox Game Pass. So.
Right. So if you're maybe interested in On the Fence to Sea of Thieves, I'll cover the first 14 days of Game Pass to get into it there.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're gonna call it here. Rick, once again, man, thank you for coming back, and you're always welcome. You're always welcome. Congratulations on launch. Congratulations on a fantastic game with hopefully better lock picking soon.
We'll see. Maybe not for you. I'll like I said, I'll make sure we'll track your IP and we'll bug it up for you even more. So
fantastic.
Perfect. That's what we want.
No, Nixon. You said Nixium said that there was a link on the Kingdom Come website for merch. So he said it's just a lot of it's sold out right now.
Oh, you want me to give you that link that I was talking about? That I can't pronounce the name.
Yeah, I might be able to type it in. He couldn't type a link into the chat, but I might be able to.
Okay.
You spell it out for me real quick.
Oh, let me I think it's ALZA maybe. Let me see. Yeah, ALZA.
.com, .org, .cz.
Hold on. I'll give you the link because it's right from our website. So, because if you click on merchandise, it actually directs you to that.
Check the chat, Mike.
Yeah, Nixium said elza.co.uk.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we got the mouse
Thank
pads,
you,
the hats,
Nixium.
the shirts. So yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna take a look too. I'd like to. That hat Juan's wearing is calling my name. That hoodie you're wearing is calling my name. I might have to make a overnight drive to New York.
Hey, or if I make a drive out to good old boring Maryland.
Yeah. Well, I figure I might lockpick, and.
Touche.
So anyway, yeah, congratulations on the game.
Yes.
Congratulations to all of Warhorse. Your mission, your new mission is to get Daniel on the show.
Dan Barbara, one and only.
You get him. Yeah, that'd be awesome. So anyway, panel, thank you guys so much. Hopefully, when we do reconvene, Sir Nathan and Sir Frankie will have put some time into the game.
Yes,
It's the goal.
Yes.
Yeah.
well, yes. I told him why I didn't buy it yet, and he was okay with that.
He said he was okay with it.
He has to be. He can't.
I wanted the special edition, and if I ended up finding it, I didn't want to pay for both. I couldn't afford it.
But
always pay for both.
So that's why he's hooking me up. and I appreciate that.
internally, he's fuming.
Oh my gosh! I saved his life in Wildlands last night. So I didn't have to do that.
First time he's ever done that.
He had to. He did not have a choice.
Right. And to our chat room, man, what a night!
I would like some KCD Under Rouge. Do you have some? Because I'll appreciate them.
What a night, guys! Thank you guys so much.
Chat was killer.
Spring Cleaner edition.
Yeah, we want to. Oh God. The Teresa edition. We want to thank everybody, and you guys made the chat just so fantastic. And not just that, but as we always like to do, you guys are part of the show, asking questions, talking about the game, talking about your experiences. We got to see how some of you are playing the game, and that's awesome. So
love it. I'm hearing about it.
Yeah. So we will see you guys next Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Everybody have a great week. We salute you all. Everybody say good night. Play on, gamers.
Good night.
Good night. Play on, gamers.
Good night, guys. There it is, out now.
Game on.
I wanna rock and roll all night.
Part of every day. You even took it out of there.
No, you're not. You're on the right.
No, the podcast.
No, podcast.
Oh, yeah.